Social shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thoughts and harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse of only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Oh, wow. Big up people, man. Back in the building, you know, the ties, you know, the vibes already. I told you I would be here every day this week, dropping a video for you guys. Please, we're so close to the 2K. And I said, when we get to that 2,000 subscribers, I will be then starting the membership. So don't worry, I have not forgotten about it. That is the goal for 2025. To bring you guys closer to GTV, support in whatever way that you guys can. But that'll be starting very, very soon. We are on 1.8. As far as I know, 1.8, 1,800 and so subscribers. So yeah, we've got less than 200 to go, people. So please want to try and get there before the end of January. So yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll be bringing those members videos to you on a weekly basis. But listen, for today's video, just make sure you smash a like, share, and subscribe. We're here doing the last but not least Liverpool, their title chances this season. Listen, look, Liverpool been imperious this season. Only one defeat in all competitions, by the way. So that one defeat to Nottingham Forest, who are obviously currently third in the Premier League, is the only defeat that they've had this season. Absolutely crazy from Liverpool. Have been, in my personal opinion, as much as I might criticize and as much as you guys think I'm always being negative, no. Listen, they've been the most consistent team that I've seen around Europe, to be honest with you. And it's not even just the fact that because they've only lost one game, obviously that massively helps. But I think it's the level of performances that they seem to put in across a season, you know, kind of thing. And the fact that even when they're not playing well, that like to my standards or to my expectations, they're still able to get the victory. They're still able to not lose the game. You know, and that for me is a very, very big thing, you know, in comparison to other teams who might not play well, but they can't get a victory. They will lose the game or, you know, things like that. So, which I've seen quite a lot this season, not just in the Premier League, but all around Europe with certain teams, Barcelona, of course, obviously being one of them. So, yeah, man, listen, Liverpool, Arne Slot, obviously, listen, I've spoken about him quite a lot since he's joined. There's not really much more to even say or really to even expand on. I think what he's shown throughout his time here at Liverpool thus far is that he is very adaptable, a very proactive manager as opposed to a reactive manager, something that I've always said I will always prefer, because being reactive, it doesn't help, and you know, it doesn't look good. You know what I mean? When you're always reacting to a situation, if you can be proactive, then that's fantastic, that's perfect. But yeah, he's really done his thing. He's really done his thing, you know, since he joined the football club. And I think when we're looking at it, obviously now we're at the halfway point, we can actually really judge him. So far, and of course, you know, things can obviously change in that second half of the season, but we can judge him, you know, in regards to just him in general. We've seen him play against every team you can think of. So whether it's the Manchester Cities, the Real Madrids, you know, to the Brightons, the Brentfords, the Bournemouths, you know, to Spurs, the Arsenals, the Manchester Uniteds, in this derby, that derby, you know, in this type of game, in that type of game, and stuff like that. We've been able to see, you know, how he can do in these type of matches. And I think that is important when we're trying to do an assessment of someone, because it's easy, not easy, but it's easier to judge them when, you know, they've only played this team or that team. Basically what everybody kept saying about Liverpool from the jump in terms of the teams that we were facing, that was a valid argument. It was, because you hadn't really faced anybody who we would deem to be difficult, that any manager of this team should be able to defeat. So, but now we've seen them face all these different types of teams, you know, the Real Madrids, Bayern Leverkusen's, AC Milan's. Like, it's not just, you know, domestically, it's also in Europe that Liverpool have been able to do really, really well. And I think when we're looking at on the face of that, he might, I mean, people are going to do the, yeah, I thought we were doing the league and like, did you think Manchester City were going to be this bad in order for you to be winning, or to look like you're going to win the league? I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? I don't think anybody saw that or foresaw that at the beginning of a season. So the fact that we are in this position, for me, he's exceeded his expectations so far exponentially. I never in my life dreamed that we would be in this position at this moment in time. 6 points ahead in the Premier League at this current moment in time, with a game in hand, which can then potentially move to 9 points in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, through to the next round of the Champions League. Still got the FA Cup to come. It's all looking rosy for Liverpool, of course, in 2025. So really, it's just about whether he's going to be able to, continue that. And, in order for him to be able to continue that, of course, he's got this attack at the moment, which is obviously spearheaded by the man himself, which is Mohamed Salah. Excuse me. Of course, Mohamed Salah having such a stellar season in terms of the goals and assists. You can see there, 26 games, 20 goals and 17 assists. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. 17 and 13 in the Premier League. Top goal scorer, top assist maker at this current moment in time. He's having a really, really good season in terms of goals and assists, man. And if he continues like this, I think it will go I think if he continues like this anyway, in the way that he is going, in terms of being so pivotal to Liverpool, about, I don't know if it's gone down now, but about 70% of the goals that, 75%, I think it was, of the goals that Liverpool had scored at one stage, when we had only scored, I think it was 28 goals. So I don't know how much we're on now. I'll have another look, but 28 of those, 21 of that 28 at that time was 75%, and he's scored and assisted since, since then. So let's say he's probably still in that 70 percentile, probably, maybe even dropped off by a little bit, kind of thing. I think when we're looking at it on the face of it, if he continues like this, you could argue he kind of single-handedly won Liverpool the title. I'll be honest with you. I can't, anybody who contributes to 70% of your goals and you win, I'm sorry, 70% is a bit too much, almost. 50 to 60, I can start looking at other factors. When you're 70%, I have to start thinking, yeah, you kind of done this on your own. I'll be honest with you. Yes, I know it's 11 players, but you were the reason why. Without you, we wouldn't have won it. That would be the guarantee I can probably say, is without you, I don't think we win it. Or I don't think we do as well as we are doing, just because of the contribution that you are having, currently on the team. He's saving us in games. We remember the Southampton game, him coming to score those goals. Like, he's just saving us in too many games, in terms of whether it's an assist, whether it's the goal, whether it's the general play at times. It's just everything with Mo Salah. And I think, obviously, with that kind of partnership now that we're sort of seeing, although I don't know if this is going to be the same partnership that's going to end the season, but with what we're seeing with Luis Diaz and Cody Gakpo, it's going to be interesting to see how that obviously continues. But yeah, I think at the moment, Mo Salah is the main reason for me as to why Liverpool are in this position. I think without him, I think you could still potentially be top, although I'm not that confident we would be, because in certain games I think we would have lost without his goals or assist. But we'd be in the top four. Obviously, I'm not saying we wouldn't drop off that badly, but yeah, I just think that without him, we're not in this position. At the bare minimum is what I kind of think. Even in the Champions League, you can see there, 6 games, 2 goals and 4 assists. 6 GA in 6 games. The optics are looking good. They're looking real good at this current moment in time. For Mo Salah. Obviously, the form of Liverpool, as I said, they've been really, really consistent. You can see only 2 games in which they haven't picked up maximum points, which is obviously Newcastle and Fulham. That's where they got their back-to-back draws. In between that was obviously Girona. We're supposed to have Everton, which would have taken our games to 19. I mean, at this point, the way that Everton are playing, we probably would have lost that game by the looks of it, especially in the middle of, coming off that draw to Newcastle. Then we ended up drawing anyway to Fulham. Like, that could have been a real bad patch for us in terms of the league and in terms of the points and things like that, and then what that then does to other teams. But you can see here, look, Real Madrid, City, Spurs thrown in there, Leicester City dispatched them, West Ham absolutely destroyed them. Liverpool, like I said, have been so consistent, and it's testament to the team. As much as I'll criticize a lot of the players, the reality is these are the same players who are still doing their thing. Do you know what I mean? They're still going out there and doing their thing when they need to do it. Whether I rate them or not is kind of irrelevant, because if they're doing what they need to be doing, then kudos to them. Kudos to them. Obviously, the Debbie Downer to this season And I think for Liverpool fans in general, is obviously you guys can see here the three on the screen. Obviously Trent, Mohamed Salah, and Virgil van Dijk. Obviously, we've been hearing a lot more news in regards to Trent recently, and obviously at the time of this video, or the time of me recording this video anyway, Trent is still hasn't signed. None of them have signed. None of them have signed. So hopefully, I'm hoping that this will be some kind of reverse psychology, that by the time this video drops, they've signed, and you guys can put in the comments, oh yes, thank God they've signed, and and you know, we're gonna win the league, and you know, etc. etc. But yeah, I think I don't know who's gonna stay. I don't know who's gonna go. I'm not even gonna play that game. I think it's just more about, you know, the three of them have been professional in terms of, not maybe, in fact, no, they've been professional. They've been professional in terms of their performances. They haven't really let these contract issues, you know, hinder their performances. They've just been calm. They've been fine. I don't feel like they've, you know, had any type of excuses that this is why I've been playing badly, because, you know, I want to try and sort out the contract and all that kind of rubbish. They've just been doing exactly what they need to be doing. Salah having a great season, Virgil's having a great season, Trent's having a decent season. Like, Trent, obviously the one that we speak about the most, just because of recent events in terms of Real Madrid potentially approaching him in this January and potentially signing him. That would be the one that we can take a look at, you know, maybe later on. Will that, you know, have an effect on Liverpool season? I don't think so. I don't think that's good. I don't think any of them would, to be honest with you. I think they're professional enough, in my personal opinion. I think this isn't a Klopp situation where the manager's tired, the player's exhausted. He's run out of energy. All that, you know, all those buzzwords that Klopp used. You know, that would make sense as to maybe why this could potentially have an effect, because then it becomes a bit too emotional. These are players who are still ready to go next season for whoever they play for. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be Liverpool. You know, whether it's Trent at Real Madrid, whether it's Salah in Saudi, whether it's Van Dijk at, you know, Real Madrid, whatever, it doesn't matter. These guys are ready to go, still ready to go. You know, they're still ready to perform. They're still ready to play next season and the season after that and the season after that. So listen, if they can sign a new deal, fantastic, great. If they don't, I'm not really that bothered. As long as they continue their level of performances, that's something that you just have to deal with in the summer. And if they go, they go. You know what I mean? As long as Liverpool win the league, I'll be honest. Like I've said a million times, I'm not going to be stressing about it. To be honest with you, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Like, that's just how football works, and you've just got to live with it. You might not like it. I'm not saying you need to like it, but it's just you got to just continue, you know, wherever you can. So let's hope that we can get the contract sorted anyway. Let's hope that all three of them sign, because you'd rather have them in your team than out of your team. But listen, let's just wait and see on that one. And the final thing to take a look at is obviously Arne Slot. I mean, look, he's had a really good 2024, to be honest with you. He's only lost one match, which is the Southampton game. He played 51 games, 41 wins, 9 draws, and again, obviously only that one defeat. So listen, man, he's at the moment he's on an A. He's on an AA/A+ at this moment in time. I have to admit, you know, he's been doing really, really well as a manager, and I like what he does in games. I think that's what I'm most impressed about. Not even really the style of play. I feel like, yeah, that's okay. I prefer different. And I say different, I prefer better. But what I do like about him is just his proactive nature. That's what I like really, really a lot about Arne Slot. So keep that up, man. Keep that up. If you continue doing that, I can't see why Liverpool can't have a successful season, you know, with Arne Slot. But obviously, I'll put my percentages in for title for Liverpool in the comment section. Let me know exactly what you guys think. How good of a chance do Liverpool have to win the Premier League? Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.